Alright everybody, in this video we're going to talk about how to fix your GERD, acid reflux, and heartburn, which are essentially all the same thing. So there's a lot of misunderstanding about what causes these issues in both the modern and holistic / functional medicine community. They are completely clueless on what is going on. But one thing we can all agree on is that this is caused by the sphincter up here opening up, and it allows the stomach acid to flow back up into the esophagus. Some people, like the back of their teeth, start eroding away. It can be a really nasty condition, and it is not fun. There will be like esophagus damage from the stomach acid. Some other symptoms are indigestion and other stomach issues, but in this video, we're just going to focus on what you need to do to fix the GERD, acid reflux, and heartburn. I've helped many people overcome this problem, and it's easy to do if you understand the root cause and what is going on behind the scenes. So we're going to look at this from a German New Medicine perspective. German New Medicine, a more accurate translation of this, it's from German. But a more accurate translation is German healing knowledge. With understanding the link between the brain, the psyche, and our organs, we can see what's going on and address the root cause quickly. So, what causes these sphincters, and sphincters in general in the body, what causes sphincters to open is stress. Stress causes these sphincters to open, whether it's down near your butthole. It causes stress, being stressed out, especially extreme stress, causes the sphincters to open. My students who have GERD, they are super stressed out people. They're talking a mile a minute. They'll talk like this. I can't keep them focused on like one subject. They're just like all over the place. These people are extremely stressed out. But the type of stress that affects the function of this sphincter, the lower esophageal, upper stomach, whatever we want to call it, this sphincter up here, is going to be either a male territorial anger conflict or a female identity conflict. And this will depend on your handedness, and it will also depend on your gender or your hormone status. And there are many things that can affect this, but essentially what you want to do is go to the German New Medicine website. I have a link down below. And what you do to determine your handedness, it's not the hand you write with, it could be, but essentially what you want to do is what hand, when you clap, which hand is on top. So for me, I'm left-handed. When I clap, my left hand is what moves. Some people will clap like this, which is kind of weird, or they'll clap like this. Like, which hand moves when you're clapping? Like, see, if I want to clap with my left hand, with my right hand, I gotta do like this chicken wing thing and clap like this. Otherwise, it feels super awkward. So I'm left-handed because this is the comfortable way for me to do this. Which hand moves when you're clapping, and so I'm left-handed. So you go to the website, I'll have a link down below, and it will tell you which conflict this might be, whether it's a male territorial anger or a female identity conflict. And it depends on your hormone status. If you're a male, you're defending your territory, and if you're a female, in your territories, you're trying to defend it. But if you're a female, it's kind of a different flavor to how that person experiences that trauma, because they're a female and they're not strong enough to defend the territory or whatever. I know I'm sexist, but that's the way Mother Nature is. So let me read off these conflicts. We'll start with the male territorial anger conflict. A territorial anger relates to anger in the environment and places in which one considers his or her domain, literally or figuratively. Typical territorial anger conflicts are disputes at home, feuds in the workplace, anger at school, in kindergarten, or on the playground, or in a senior or nursing home, or at the hospital. or an extended territory such as someone's village, town, or country where they live. Battles over land or property, annoying noises in the house or in the neighborhood, a fight over a parking space or over a toy. These are all examples that can provoke a territorial anger conflict. And remember, all these things I just listed off here, you experience with anger. You're angry that person stole your parking spot. Anger. Now, if it's a female, it will be an identity conflict. This refers to the inability to establish one's position or place or territory, literally or figuratively. An unwanted move, a change in school or in the workplace can activate this conflict. Feeling unsettled, not knowing where to belong, not being able to find one's place in a relationship within the family, the group, at work, or in culture or society. So if someone's a homosexual and they're afraid to come out of the closet, that could be an identity conflict. If someone's a refugee or has immigrated to a foreign country, that could be an identity conflict for them as well. And it can also be described as a decision conflict, not knowing what choice to make and not knowing where to go. So I'm reading this straight from learninggnm.com. So if you're curious to learn more about this, I would go there. So how do you fix this? So there's two things you can do. Well, first off, we can right away start reducing our overall stress. How can you do this? You could take up breathing exercises. You could smoke weed. You could do CBD oil. You could have relaxing teas. You can reduce the amount of caffeine that you take. There are a bunch of different herbs and other substances you could take to help you relax. You can limit stressful activities. You need to relax, because the people that I see that have acid reflux and heartburn and GERD, they are wired. They are so hard to talk to sometimes. They just need to calm down, and on an overall level. But you have to realize the body is doing this for a very specific purpose. I find a lot of this worry and fear goes away when you understand what the body is doing. So when someone is conflict active, think about it, they're conflict active, they're trying to figure out how to fix this identity or territorial anger conflict. So what's the logical thing to do? You put your brain into overdrive. You put your psyche into overdrive so you can process more information, process more thoughts in order to find a resolution to this conflict faster. That's the purpose of this really energized, panicky behavior. That's our main goal here. So we want to, first, what the person wants to do, you gotta figure out whether it's an identity or territorial anger conflict. So go to the website, do the CLAP test, and figure out whether it's identity or a territorial anger conflict. And then once you determine that, you think back and you go, okay, what was something stressful that happened to me around the time that my GERD started? Or it could be, I would guess, maybe a year before the GERD started. So a year before your stomach's symptoms started, that time from a year from when the symptoms started, what was a territorial anger or an identity conflict that you could have suffered? And then we want to try to work on resolving this conflict. And I get a lot of questions about how do you resolve a conflict. Sometimes it's just looking at the situation differently, but sometimes it's actually you physically have to do something. You need to talk to the neighbor and tell their dumb dog to stop barking in the middle of the night. Maybe you need to make changes in the workplace, changes in your family. Maybe it's something you physically have to do. Make that decision if it's an identity conflict. And if you can't solve, then how do you downgrade it? But overall, you can do in any circumstances, reduce the stress. Maybe turn off the news. Just panic, 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 panic. Try CBD oil. Instead of having a lot of caffeine and energy drinks and stuff like that, we want to use things to help us calm down. Instead of grabbing a coffee, grab an herbal relaxant tea, like a valerian tea or something like that. So this is the strategy for getting rid of the GERD. When you are stressed out, sphincters open in the body. But the main stress that affects this sphincter here is going to be the identity conflict, the female identity conflict, or the territorial anger, male territorial anger conflict. And when you resolve these symptoms, when you resolve this conflict, you are going to get healing symptoms. You are probably going to have vomiting and maybe diarrhea and stuff like that, but this is all part of the healing program. I'll make another video on stomach ulcers and that part of the program, but this episode is just based on GERD, acid reflux, and heartburn. So that's what you got to do. I'll repeat myself again. First you need to identify your handedness. Do the clap test. Go to learngnm.com and match it to what your condition is. And then, go back in time. Try to identify, what was the conflict before these symptoms started. And then what can you do to resolve it? And also reduce stress overall in your life. Because right now you're in the conflict active phase. And it causes this to stay open. And then when you get in the healing phase, you'll get some healing symptoms. And when you go into a healing crisis, where it squeezes out the edema, you'll have gastritis here. And then it squeezes out the edema, and then it goes into the scarring phase. You'll get a little bit more acid reflux here as well. So there you guys go. If you have any questions, leave comments down below. Hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button. It really helps the video do better, and this could literally save someone's life, because all the other videos out there are pretty bad. I mean, one remedy is to eat cayenne pepper. Why would rubbing cayenne pepper into an injured organ help? Like a hot spicy food, why would that help? It just makes things worse. Take more stomach acid. Oh, there's too much stomach acid. I mean, it's just all over the place. But this is what's really going on. Remember, all of our tissues develop for a very specific survival purpose. And when we experience a conflict shock that catches us off guard, our psyche and our brain is going to choose an organ to put into overdrive. And once the overdrive is complete, then we have the healing symptoms to balance things out again. Acid reflux is a conflict active symptom. So, yeah. If you're new, go check out my YouTube channel. I have lots of different information on gut issues and how to heal them with German new medicine. And if you're really interested in working with me, I have a program called the Rapid Gut Healing Program, where I have more details down below, but essentially it comes with a bunch of video courses, a Facebook group where I answer all your questions every day, and we do live Q&As on a Zoom call twice a week. So anyways, guys, I hope you get better soon, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.